What's up everyone, today I'm showcasing a pretty great team for the Open Ultra League, Toxicroak, Jellicent and Heliolisk. I played 6 sets with this team and climbed 151 points from 2376 rating to 2527, so it did really well. I made this team because I wanted to try out Toxicroak, who I think is a very solid pick in the current meta. It's a fighting type that can beat the other fighting types like the Swords of Justice, Virizion and Galarian, who are very common. To cover for its weaknesses to Flying, Ghost and Golisopod, I'm running Heliolisk in the back, who is quickly turning out to be one of my favorite Pokemon to run in the Ultra League. I just love the Breaking Swipe spam, and electric types in general are very good at core breaking teams in this meta. In the middle, I'm running Jellicent because it has a positive matchup versus Swampert, a Pokemon I'm struggling with right now, and it functions very well as a pivot in this squad. Generally, if I have a bad lead, I'll switch to Jellicent, and if they have a Virizion in the back or another grass type, Jellicent will lure it out, and then Heliolisk is generally free in the back because one of its hardest counters just got lured out by the Jellicent. Anyway, let's get started with these battles, starting off with a pretty bad lead, Swampert into my Toxicroak. I'm forced to stay in here as my Heliolisk in the back is even weaker versus Swampert, especially since I'm not running Grass Knot. Reason for that, by the way, is that Grass Knot really only hits one Pokemon, which is Swampert, and I wasn't really expecting to be able to fire it off that much anyway. And in every other scenario, Thunderbolt is just really nice neutral or super effective damage, so overall, I think it just has way more use, and you're gonna see that later on in the video. Anyway, this lead matchup, I fired off the Mud Bomb, shielded up a Hydro, and then decided to try to catch a move on my Jelly, which was unsuccessful, but still they unloaded all their energy in the form of an Earthquake into my Jelly, which I'm super fine with, because now I still might be able to deal with the Swampert later. I still think I kind of misplayed this though. I think next time I face a Swampert lead, I much prefer to just play out that matchup with Toxicroak and then come in Jelly, because now the Swampert could still be a threat, as I'm not sure if, let's say, it does get aligned to the Heliolisk later, I'm not sure if I'm able to Volt Switch it down before it gets to like 2 Hydro Cannons, so it's still kind of scary. Anyway, this Pidgeot, I could potentially farm now with Heliolisk here, but the Brave Bird will do so much. I'm expecting they might be trying to throw a Feather Dance here though, so I no shield and I do throw the Feather Dance, which is really nice for me, and now to bring in Swampert. They should be at 3 Bird Shots now, so I think they need 2 more for next move. Actually, I think they need 1 more for the next move. Yeah, they do get there. I'm going to shield this up. Even though it's debuffed, it will do quite a bit of damage. I think they're at least 4 Bird Shots away for the next move. So if I'm able to farm in 2 Volt Switches and knock them out, and I do, I'm just going to have to wait to see what comes out next. It's a Charizard, and I go straight for the Thunderbolt. I'm thinking they might be expecting a Grass Knot on my Heliolisk. They might no shield this, but they do shield it, which is pretty unfortunate. I think I'm at the Thunderbolt right now after this Volt Switch. So after they hit this Dragon Claw, which I do barely survive on 1 HP, I thought I would have it, but I didn't, so I get farmed down, and now it's a race. Can I hit the Slush Bomb? I can on the CMP tie. This will knock out the Charizard. Now, I just gotta hope I can catch a move here from this Pidgeot on my Jellicent, but that wasn't successful, but luckily we're still able to farm now with not super effective Hexes. GG, very close. Alright, Virizion lead, very good for Toxicroak. They bring out Golisopod, and this is what Heliolisk was made for. You're resisting the Shadow Claws, and Liquidation does way too much. But I'm still able to get to the Thunderbolt before they get to the next Liquidation. If you want, you can... Well, I don't know, not sure how consistent this is, but against one Golisopod, I Breaking Swiped there, and then farmed them all the way down, and I was actually able to survive the second Liquidation at like 1 HP. So that's an option too, to go for. But in this case, I thought I would really like to keep Switch Advantage, so going for a Thunderbolt was just much safer, and I'm still able to throw 2 Breaking Swipes into this Virizion. They have so much energy though. I think they just threw 7... Sacred Sword, double kicks, which is quite scary. That means they're almost at 3 Sacred Swords to hit my Toxicroak, or Leaf Blades even. I think it's slightly more efficient. And then a Gliscor comes in, and Gliscor does take super effective from Surfs, but they don't do that much. I have to throw 2, and the Night Slashes are really, really gonna add up on my Jellicent. And besides that, it's just a really good counter for Toxicroak, so I'm still not looking too good here. Gonna throw another Surf into this Gliscor, making sure I throw out perfect timing after 1 or 3 Hexes is the way versus a 2-turn fast move like Wing Attack. My opponent also throwing great timing though, always throwing after 1 Wing Attack or 4 Wing Attacks after my move. At this point, I was expecting them to snipe with the Leaf Blade, so I switch into my Toxicroak the moment the timer came up. They've thrown 8 double kicks so far, and they need 9 for 3 Sacred Sword or Leaf Blades. So I know they're gonna get there now, so I just throw the Mud Bomb for a little bit of chip, hoping I can farm now with Jellicent after this. They've thrown 2 over, I think, so they should be 1 away from the next Leaf Blade, meaning I can safely farm down with Jellicent now, and I can have a Surf loaded, but they have a shield. Can I outpace the Gliscor to do shields? First Surf coming through, and now I should be 2 hexes away from the next. Or 3? Oh, 3. Oh, that's bad. They throw their Night Slash, and now just gotta throw the Surf immediately, hoping that they're not at the next Night Slash, and they are not. I get to my Surf, and this will knock out the Gliscor. By the way, my opponent came into my Twitch chat after this and told me he was only 1 wing attack away from the Night Slash there. So that was an extremely close game. Next match, we see a Greedent in the lead, which seems like it will be pretty positive for Toxicroak, as I am hitting super effective with the counters. But it really isn't. Greedent is just so much tankier than Toxicroak, and Body Slam almost has half my HP. So I'm going to be forced to shield over the next if I want my Toxicroak to stay alive here. They're going to shield up the Sludge, and that means I'm going to shield up too. They're now 4 away from the next move. It's 4 for each Body Slam, and they've thrown 8 Mudshots so far. So it's going to be the 12th. Throw his Mudball on the CMP. I think they're going to shoot us up again. By the way, my Toxicroak is bad IV. It's a Hundo level 40. It's not even XL. If I had XL, this matchup would be much, much better, as I would be able to survive this Body Slam. So yeah, if you do have the chance, build an XL Toxicroak. It is definitely better. It's definitely better. I just didn't want to spend the resources on an XL Toxicroak when I already had a Hundo build, and I wasn't sure if I was going to use it in like future matches. Anyway, I brought a Jellicent there to catch the Body Slam, which was really nice. I still keep my Toxicroak alive with a little bit of health and some energy, which might be useful later, seeing as it seems like they're pretty weak to Toxicroak in the back. Opponent brought out Steelix, which is pretty good for me, as Heliolisk definitely doesn't want to see this. By the way, talking about IVs, I got a lot of comments lately of people wanting me to put IVs on my video, and honestly, I'd be down to do that, but I'm not really sure why I would, like how it is useful to you guys, because the way I see it, I don't always run the IVs I recommend. Like, sometimes I just run whatever I got, like a rank 2000, I'll run that if it's, you know, the one version of the Pokemon I have. Or I run, like, incredible... Oh, by the way, look at this mistake. I didn't think I reached the Sludge Bomb, and I throw a Mud Bomb, and it... Yeah, if I had just thrown Sludge Bomb, I would have won that game. But yeah, I couldn't far more, because the Virizion was going to get to a move. Anyway, what I was going to say, the reason I don't do it is because I don't always run the IVs I recommend, either way too like badly ranked, or I run like very high ranked Pokemon, because, you know, I play a ton. A lot of my Pokemon are extremely high ranked because I just catch a lot of Pokemon, and I don't think that's required either. And I don't want to give you the idea that you need like rank 1s to win, because I don't believe that. I mean, I don't use rank 1s all the time, and I think they're fine. So why would it be useful to see my IVs if they are not necessarily the IVs I recommend, you know? Maybe there's a reason. I don't know. So just let me know down in the comments if that's something you would like to see. I really have no problem with doing that if there's a good argument for it. Anyway, next battle we face out Shadow Poliwrath in the lead, which is very fine for Toxicroak here. I'm resisting the counters. Scald will do a ton though, so I throw the Sludge Bomb on the CMP tie with it, which I win. Toxicroak is a lot less tanky than Poliwrath, so more attack wins the CMP. Gonna shoot up this move, as a Scald will do a significant amount of damage. It does end up being an Ice Punch though. Didn't need to shield that, but, you know, that's fine. Still a healthy Toxicroak. They bring in Steelix, which is crazy. Gonna Mud Bomb there. Probably gonna let this move go, I would guess. Then bring in Jelly, because I don't think I can reach another Mud Bomb before they Dragon Tail me down. Yes, I do switch into Jelly. A little bit of a late switch by me, so I... took a 1 turn to switch there because I tapped the button too late, which means I don't sneak in a Hex there. It's a bit unfortunate, really. But that's my own mistake. Go for the next Surf. This will do... Does it do 50% at this point? No, I think after Breaking Swipe they will knock me out, but they actually wait a bit too long with throwing the Breaking Swipe and are able to get to another Surf, which is pretty huge. Doesn't knock them out though. They survive at literally 1 HP and get to the Breaking Swipe. Very unfortunate, but doesn't really threaten my Jelly that much. Gonna be able to farm down the Steelix. What do they come out with now? It is Steel. Oh, Registeel. They're running Poliwrath double Steel. Bring in Toxicroak. Try to catch a Mud Bomb on their Poliwrath unsuccessfully. Come out with a Mud Bomb for his Registeel. Takes a shield. Am I able to get to another Mud Bomb? Sadly, I don't. That's unfortunate. Gonna bring in Jelly now. Just gonna let Jelly go if they throw a move. And now it's all up to Heliolisk to sweep this game. And this is why we got Thunderbolt, ladies and gentlemen. This is, well, one of the reasons. This is why I really like Thunderbolt. If they zap Cannon here and they debuff me, I don't think Thunderbolt plus Volt Switches will be enough to knock out the Registeel. And I'm afraid I'm gonna get knocked out by a Focus Blast then. So actually what I end up doing is I go for the Breaking Swipe here. Not once, but twice. Because now I'll for sure live a Focus Blast. And then I'm free to go for the Thunderbolt, which after this double Breaking Swipe and Volt Switch chip should definitely be enough, even though I'm debuffed. I'm not sure if this was like entirely necessary. Maybe I only need to throw like one debuff, but just to be safe, that felt like a good play. They go for another Zap, which is interesting. Maybe they're running Flash Zap. Maybe they didn't even have Focus, but yeah, still with the way I played it, I basically guaranteed to win. GG. Galarian Weezing in the lead. This is a really bad lead. I think this thing technically beats everything in my squad. At least when shields are up. Can be Jelly, can be Toxie, because of course they're double resisting counters, but taking super effective from Mud Bomb. One doesn't knock out though. And Heliolisk is just less tanky than Weezing, so probably just loses first it based on pure bulk. Anyway, they play rough, doesn't knock me out, and I get to another Mud Bomb. Toxicroak apparently does win the zeros there, which is good to know. If they let this go, at least I will win a switch here, which is nice. And they bring in a Greedent. Interesting. Not a great Pokemon for me to see though, especially since it don't reach the Mud Bomb. Now gotta go into Heliolisk, but they've already got like 7 Mud Shots of farm here, which means they're not just gonna get to a one Body Slam, they're gonna get to a second right here, and now they're 4 away from the next. So yeah, and Heliolisk doesn't really like taking these at all. I'm gonna farm up to the Thunderbolt, then throw the Breaking Swipe. Expecting them to shield, hopefully. If they don't shield, that's kind of unfortunate. But they do shield, very nice. They're 2 Mud Shots away from the next Body Slam. So I can throw 1 Volt Switch after this one. And CMP Titan, which I do. And this should knock out the Greedent now. Hopefully. It does. It does knock out the Greedent. Now Greninja comes in. And this is pretty bad as it does kind of wall Jellicent. But Breaking Swipe spam is too good. I get the 2 Volt Switches, throw the Breaking Swipe. And now the Greninja should be in a range where a Surf will knock out from Jellicent. And I should be able to survive at least 2 Night Slashes from Greninja, unless they boost, which they luckily don't. Get to my Surf here. Now, even if they boost, I should be fine. And you actually look, they're gonna get the boost right there. You can't really see it, but they did get the boost. You didn't see that? Rewind a little bit. Play it in slow motion. They actually did get the boost right there, but luckily it's not gonna matter. So only gonna get to 1 more Night Slash right here, which I'm able to shield, and we throw the Surf into Greninja, which, if it doesn't knock out, it should at least put them in the farm down range with like a single Hex before they get to another Night Slash. Surf coming through, and like I said, 1 HP, and we farm it down with Jellicent. GG. Ooh, Jellicent lead. Very bad for me. I go into my own Jelly. They switch in a Registeel. This is really bad for me so far, but at this point, I'm just hoping it might be like Alolan Sandslash in the back, which Heliolisk might be able to sweep with 2 shields. Might be able to take out both Jellicent and Alolan Sandslash, since the, you know, the fast move pressure is so low from either that it's gonna be close with Heliolisk, because they also have spammy charge moves, but it might be possible. But yeah, I can't flip switch here, so it's really my only hope, which could be like Manabuzz, like a Flyer, maybe Charizard. I've also seen that. You know, I just hope my Heliolisk can sweep, basically. Anyway, I'm gonna take another move here to Focus Blast. Knocks me out. Gonna bring a Toxicroak, hoping to farm this down before they get to another move. I'm barely able to do that. Come out with a Mud Bomb. Not gonna throw that into Jellicent though. Just instant switch into Heliolisk. And it ends up being basically the worst thing I could see. Cobalion. Yeah. With these shields, this isn't possible. Maybe with a shield up, Heliolisk could do this, but nah. Especially after they shielded, or they no shield up, Breaking Swipe is over, so concede the match. Alolan Sandslash lead is very, very good, but then out comes Clefable, and this is a pretty awkward matchup. I'm not really sure how to switch in here. So I go for /1 first, and then I go into Jellicent. Clefable will likely be able to force switch from Jelly. Oh, well, unless I go like shields down, but I don't want to go shields down. The problem here is, if I decide to use shields here in this matchup, the Alolan Sandslash will just farm me down and get to a drill run or 2 versus my Toxicroak to take me out. So I don't want to do that. Instead, I'm just going to keep my shields up, because as I said in this previous batch, Heliolisk is fine versus Alolan Sandslash if shields are up. So that's what I'm going to do. Go for another surf. I'll probably take both their shields if they want to remain switch advantage, and they do. But now it's Heliolisk time. I'm going to shield one move here, expecting it to be Boom Blast. The opponent very smartly realizes that and goes for the Meteor Measure instead. Still a fine shield. I'm still able to farm down before they get to another one. Out comes Alolan Sandslash now, and this is where Thunderbolt is really useful, as Grass Knot, of course, would only hit for resisted, and it does a very good chunk of damage. I'm gonna shield up this Drill Run that's coming in. It's a 6 Shadow Claws per Drill Run, by the way, and 6 for the one after that. Instant throw. I'll just throw one more Volt Switch and then throw my Thunderbolt right before that next Drill Run. We'll knock out the Alolan Sandslash, and now I just hope that I can take up whatever's in the back. It does end up being a Charizard, and I will definitely outpace this to a Blast Burn. Go for the Thunderbolt, and this will definitely knock out the Charizard. Look, guys, if you're not convinced by Grass Knot already, I don't know what to tell you. Because, or not by Grass Knot, by Thunderbolt, I mean. No, don't be convinced by Grass Knot, be convinced by Thunderbolt. It's definitely the way on Heliolisk, as you just saw. Anyway, bad lead. Out comes Greedent into my Jelly, which is just pretty bad. I mean, at least I can bring this thing low enough to where I can likely farm out with Toxicroak and maybe even come out with a Sludge Bomb to hit the Charizard. But it's a regular Charizard, so Sludge Bomb won't even do that much, which is unfortunate. Still, might be valuable chip. Greedent also not great for my Heliolisk, so there might still be something Heliolisk can core break in the back, like maybe a Giratina or something. It's definitely a line I've seen, and Heliolisk does very, very fine there too. Alright, I'll throw another Surf into this, and after this, we're just gonna let Jelly go down. And again, go for the farm down with Toxie. We'll likely take a Body Slam. Hopefully not 2. We might take 2 though, but I really hope we don't. Because that would do way too much damage. Throw one body here. And I don't think they'll get to another. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't. As they've basically thrown a Crunch and Body Slam back to back now. And they don't reach another, yes. Could stay in there, throw a Sludge Bomb, but I don't want them to get too much farm on their Charizard. So I go into my Heliolisk instantly instead and save that Mud Bomb for later. And out comes a Swampert. Okay, I guess this is where Grass Knot would be nice, but you lose that matchup in the 2s anyways, guys, okay? You lose that matchup in the 2s anyway. So I think my win con now is getting all their shields with Breaking Swipe, throw another Breaking Swipe into this, and then sniping it with a Mud Bomb, if that's enough damage at least. Okay, gonna let this go, because it's a double debuffed Hydro, and it does nothing. Go for another Breaking Swipe instantly, and now I gotta farm up to a Thunderbolt. Because I do win CMP versus Charizard. And then Mud Bomb snipe this Swampert. That is the play now. If I don't farm up to a Thunderbolt, and I knock out the Swampert with Toxicroak, the Charizard's just gonna farm me down. As you could see though, you can see what just happened. The swap did not go through. I actually tapped it. Wait, I will replay. I throw one more Volt Switch. After this, right? I tap. And it doesn't go. I don't think it would have mattered though, because they would have just fired the Hydro onto my Toxicroak. And if it wouldn't have gone down, then, you know, Charizard would have still been able to farm me down. I would not have been able to get off the... Actually, wait. How low was that Charizard? No, it was not in Sludge Bomb range. Like, I would not have been able to throw the Mud Bomb onto the Swampert anyway, is what I'm trying to say. So the Charizard would have still swept the game, and if it didn't sweep, then, you know, the Swampert was still alive as well, so... Didn't matter that I was not able to get the swap, but it was still strange. It would have been a pretty cool sacrificial swap anyway. Giratina lead in this next match. Pretty bad for me, pretty bad for Toxicroak. But they seem to be staying in versus my Jellicent, and they don't even have Shadow Sneak, which is amazing for me. I'll throw a Shadow Ball. There's a bunch of damage, but Giratina's so tanky. Doesn't even put him into the red. They're gonna get to another move. I'm just gonna let it go. I'm actually surprised they throw Agent Power first. Dragon is definitely better damage per energy. But, I mean, I guess they just wanted to get the boost. Was their goal? They actually tried to catch a Shadow Ball onto Steelix, I think, but I threw the Surf anyway, so that's nice, super effective damage. Gonna go for another Surf. This will do another good chunk of damage on the Steelix. Brings him into the yellow. I don't want to stay in and get farmed down, so bring in Toxicroak instead to farm them down myself. In a reverse style. They go for a Breaking Swipe. I'll let that go. They get to another one. I'm done with Toxie. But once I no-shield this, I realize this might be a bit of a mistake. They might have like a Copalion in the back. And I might just need my Toxicroak for that. Bring in Giratina again, and I'm just gonna start spamming Mud Bombs. Wish I don't shield. Great! In comes Tapu Fini, and this is the dream. I could go for a Sludge here, and then Heliolisk should be very fine to sweep up this Tapu Fini. 2 shields up, this thing really has no play. It does have some energy though, so it's kind of scary. But at this point, if I just Breaking Swipe spam, with the no shield, it should be very fine for me. And they realize, so they basically concede the match by throwing their phone away or something. So just farm down. GG's. Anyway, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Again, squad very potent, in my opinion. As you could see, it did very, very well. And I'm probably going to run it a little bit more, so just really enjoy it. Hope you liked this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Good luck with your battles, trainers.